Oh, so it doesn't actually play the music in the background while you're talking. So what I'll do is I'll basically, in the general sense, talk about what and how of the book of Igor. So starting with, yeah, that would be perfect. Like, so a bit lower. It's perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. So uh, earlier when I saw this lab report from Igor Ekel, I realized that the lab report basically could start the story in the middle. The lab report basically says, oh, we learned how to do mathematics without numbers, additions, multiplications, subtractions, operations, and they call it a ring operation for some reason. And so for Igor, being in this school is like something Igor's mom worked hard for. Like it's a special school for specialized kids, in the sense that these kids don't have this AI augmentation chip, context aware chip that helps you with all kinds of maths and higher reasoning, you know. So you don't have to do it. Don't have to know how to fly a plane, but if you are sitting in a cockpit, it might just tell you how to land it safely, you know. So all these AI chips that everybody just has, they don't have it. So maybe they are in a situation where they would need AI, but they don't have it, and there's no way to rescue them from it because we're supposed to autonomously tap into this AI network and survive. So Igor basically is in a school where he is learning how to even approach something like math without an AI or a calculator even. And for Igor, not having these numerical processing chips, numerical processing units, means that Igor doesn't get to do advanced operations with numbers, like even addition, multiplication, subtraction, division for Igor is like tough. He has to literally put all those stones together or divide them equally or something to see how it works, because he cannot mentally visualize numbers. And he just has paws, like not separate fingers, like, you know, like this digit idea with a paw bit is a bit different, because fives are ones again instead of tens being ones. And then he has to think in a different thing, like, oh, do I count all of my hands? They're like 20 or 10 or 5. How do I do the base of my counting? Right? So counting doesn't really come naturally to people who have to rediscover counting from scratch. There are really too many different ways to think about counting. And so yeah, on the first day of his school, he is told like, yeah, you guys can do maths without numbers. That's fine. We'll teach you. There's so much math you can do without numbers. And for him, it's also like, oh, maybe I have a place here. Like in this school, maybe I finally fit. Maybe I can do something. So he's also writing this report, but mainly all these reports he's writing for his mom. It's not for his curriculum. So he can be informal in his reports, you know. It can be like, look mom, I learned this, and be very excited about something. Just use casual language instead of technical terms all the time. And so they are told 3 ways to think about calculations or computations, right? Things that we think of oh, we are bad at maths when we think of that. What we mean is we are bad at solving certain equations or solving certain numerical problems in our heads, or even thinking like, okay, what is 23 times 17, you can do it, but it takes a strain on your head, to calculate that. But you know all the steps, right? So all of this calculation, there are three ways to think of it. The first is, the calculation could be a result of certain truths. It is a consequence of certain truths. It's not the truth itself, it's an inferred corollary of a higher truth, of a pre-existing truth. Or like, computation is actually not just logical. Computation can just happen with numbers and maths and whatever math gives you, That's the second idea of calculation. And in this one, still, it is the application of math itself, not math. That calculation isn't what math is. That is just one application of math. And finally, you can just say, oh yeah, all of those things, whether those are results of truths or whether they are results of application of maths, you can say that they are just programs. So mathematics is a bunch of programs. And when you write those programs that define mathematics, you wrote mathematics for a computer. And the reason he needs to learn mathematics is that he has been told by his mom that his mom is actually just a sentient AI. She doesn't exist as such as a person. She just has a sense of self. And humanoid, she can replace her body parts and all this. Like, she can take shapes and be a tractor for a whole summer if she wants. But in the previous story about the harvest, we see that she is actually a real person. She started out as a real person. But here she is like, in her final state, reduced to just some processing units which do basic maths. And the only way she can in the future be able to talk to her son when she loses all human language is just the language of math with which you can talk to a machine. So whatever momness she has, she will not be able to express it unless it is through maths. Any communication she will do, she will not be doing it with human language anymore. She will have to do it with maths, and the mother and son communication will have to happen through maths. And the more math Egor understands, the more ways Egor will find to express himself and thinks about his day or what happened to him with structures that he learned in maths, not numerical things he learned in math, but abstract structures of math. And mathematics as a way of expression, as a way of connecting thoughts, ideas, people. So that's why we need two parts of this writing. One where we are talking about human relations and we don't think in just dots and arrows. And on the other side, we are thinking of mathematical objects and their relations with other mathematical objects. And there, it's obviously just dots and arrows. Because it's whatever you say it is. It's just your imagination. It's a game you create to model reality. And you shouldn't take this side too seriously when this side is actually the real life itself. So I would also like us to think about the story that I'm building up, with all this, where human things are happening. It doesn't matter that the mom is somehow a sentient AI. We don't even know what that means at this moment. And when you put the previous two stories together, then the story of the mom, her actual name, everything is actually there. But here, somehow we don't name her, we don't gender her even actually. Egor also doesn't have a gender, but somehow she has the role of a mom, A mom also doesn't always have to be a female, so, And she says, I am losing my capacity for spoken languages. Soon I will not be able to hear much of what you say, and worse still, I will only understand simple words and stories about those words that we made up ourselves together. The words and their stories from the spoken languages at large are too vast and too many for my failing few processors to handle. So she is losing literally her capacity to have something like ChatGPT. So she's basically like a dumb terminal that you had in the 80s or 90s soon. And then also Igor will have to be able to talk to her in some sense, right? And it's getting lonelier in here, in her whatever processing brain she has. It's getting lonelier in here, and I don't know when I should say the final goodbye. She needs to say the final goodbye to her Igor, and I don't know when I should say the final goodbye. I don't know if I will get to say it for that same very reason. She sells her advanced chips and sensors in her quest for a book, her last gift to her child. The books from those who always existed but still elude us. Sanatan books, basically, right? It's a reference. It doesn't claim to have that. And she deeply believed that those ancient manuscripts, like from the Ancient Manuscript Project in real life also, will help her child Igor. And she wanted Igor to choose some of the books on his own and then make it Igor's. She didn't want to impose those books on him. He had to discover them and not seek them because he's told that it will give him power or this or that. And
I was thinking that if we brought like these learnings in like that library, it goes on a library and it becomes a quest